If you're feeling overwhelmed by all the buzz and often misunderstood world of AI, or wondering if using these tools makes you less authentic as a Christian coach or consultant, this episode is for you. I'm going to share how I use AI in my own business, how I've messed up, and what scripture has taught me about embracing new tools while staying true to our calling. No hype, no tech jargon, just practical wisdom for faith-driven entrepreneurs like you. Here's 3 key points for today. Let's bust the myth that using AI makes you less authentic. The exact framework I use to stay faithful to my calling while letting technology handle the busy work. And then some real talk about when to use these tools and then when to rely purely on the wisdom that God has given you. Think of this as having coffee with a friend who's walked this road and wants to help you navigate it with confidence and biblical wisdom.
Hey Coach, welcome back to the Coach by God Entrepreneur Show. I'm 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝗏𝗃, self-proclaimed mama bear of the coaching industry, certified professional coach, mentor, consultant, tech trainer, and a faith-fueled business maven with a knack for turning chaos into gold. If you are ready to leverage your hard-earned coaching certification, get clarity, create ripples in the marketplace, build a business that glorifies God, and make money, this podcast is for you. You can find out more and connect with me over at 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝗏𝗃.coach. Ready to dig into today's show? Get ready for a dash of sass, a sprinkle of wit, a dose of wisdom, and a whole lot of no-nonsense strategies that will transform your life and your business. Let's go.
Okay, welcome back. All right, so today we are talking about using AI tools like Claude, ChatGPT, and Bing as virtual assistants in our coaching or consulting businesses. If you're new here, each episode falls under one of my 4 pillars: life, business, faith, and tech. These pillars are not separate boxes. They're interconnected foundations of how we do business as Christian entrepreneurs. And today's tech topic hopefully will free you up. I pray it doesn't push any of your buttons. Now, I know many of you are probably hearing about these tools everywhere, and maybe, just maybe, you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or skeptical about how they could actually fit into your work. Trust me, I get it. There's so much hype, and it can be hard to separate the realistic possibilities from the overblown promises. So today we're going to talk about this, no fancy claims. Let's just have an honest look at what these tools can and can't do and how we might actually use them in our daily work. First, what these AI assistants actually are. Like the wise builder in Proverbs 24, 3-4, who understands that through wisdom a house is built and by understanding it is established, by knowledge, the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. We need to understand that these tools, we need to understand our tools and how to use them effectively. Now, ChatGPT is probably the one that you've heard most about. It's made by OpenAI, and it's like having a really knowledgeable conversation partner. I use ChatGPT. I use the paid version. Then there's Claude, which is very similar, but people often praise Claude for its writing abilities and how it handles nuanced conversations. And then there's Bing. Bing's AI is interesting because it can actually search the internet in real time. So, email drafts, right? Let me just back up. I've been playing around with these tools for over a year now, and I want to share some genuine observations about how they fit into my coaching and consulting work, because 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, test all things, hold fast what is good. So let's talk about email drafts. Yeah, they can help brainstorm different ways to respond to clients, but you're definitely going to want to add your own voice and personal touch. Now, I also work a full-time job for a corporate company out of New York City, and this company praises AI. We use the Bing AI, and they actually encourage all employees to use AI as often as possible because it's a really good time management tool. For content ideas, yes, all of these AIs are pretty good at suggesting topics or outlining blog posts or any other kind of post. But again, you have to understand and recognize that the real value comes from infusing your own unique expertise and experience. When it comes to research, this is very interesting because you can ask the AI tools to help gather information about trends or summarize articles. But the key here is you have to verify everything for yourself. It's not like Google. A lot of people will do a Google research and they'll just take everything it says verbatim. You cannot do that with AI. Verification is a must. Now, I'm going to share about a year and a half ago or a year ago, I used it to help me analyze the results in a quiz that I created. I gave it the questions and I gave each question 4 multiple choice. Let me back up. I'm tongue-tied today. I used it last year and I used it to help me analyze the results in a quiz I created. I gave it 4 multiple choice questions. There was more than 4 questions, but each question had 4 multiple choices. So I also gave it the 4 possible results and asked it to analyze it and give me the scoring. So there was 4 results that could happen after you took this quiz. It did very well. However, the math was off. I had to point it out and ask it to refine the scoring points and constantly retake the quiz myself to make sure that it was adding the points correctly and it was giving me the correct response. Doing this did take me many, many, many hours, but it also saved me many, many hours if I was to do this manually. Now, here's what I think is really important to understand. AI is not, doesn't produce magical solutions that will actually run your business for you. These AIs are helpful tools that can speed up certain tasks or help you think through problems in new ways. So I'll give you another real example of how I use these tools. Now, content planning used to be this huge time sink for me. I'd sit here staring at a blank calendar, trying to figure out what to post each week, but still staying true to my own message. Now, I would simply input my content pillars and, those key themes and topics that really matter to my business and my clients. And I would ask AI to help me map out a content calendar for the week or the month ahead. This saved me hours and hours and hours of time. Like I said, I work full time. I'm also a single mom. I have a lot of things going on, and I have a full roster of clients. So if I can use this one tool to save me a couple of hours, guess what? I'm using it. And I'm doing it without any shame. What's cool about this approach is that it's still 100% my strategy and my expertise driving everything. AI isn't telling me what my pillar should be or what my business stands for. It's just helping me organize and distribute my messages in a more structured way. Then I take those suggestions and I infuse them with my real world experiences, client stories, and current insights. So I'll give you an example. Last week, I was trying to explain to a client why using AI tools doesn't make their coaching practice less authentic. I was stuck in my own head about how to do it, so I asked Claude, can you give me some analogies for how AI tools are like other business tools that coaches already use? AI suggested comparing it to using Canva for graphics or spell check for writing, tools that nobody questions, right? This sparked my own thinking, and I ended up developing that idea further with my own analogy about how using a calendar app doesn't make you less organized than using a paper planner. It's still your system, your process, just with better tools. Did I use AI's exact words? No. But that initial brainstorming helped me find a clearer, more relatable way to explain it to my client. And guess what? They had this aha moment where the fear of using AI tools melted away. Now, I want to talk about some practical considerations. Cost, right? Cost is one of them. These tools usually will have a free version, but the paid versions, anywhere between $20 and $30 per month, generally work better. Is it worth it? Well, that really depends on how you plan to use it. I personally find it very worthy, very worthy. Now, excuse me, privacy. This is huge. You have to remember that anything you type into these AI tools could potentially be used to train future versions. So you never, ever want to share client information without thoroughly, making it anonymous first, right? We don't want to put in names and businesses and all of that stuff. Learning curves. Yes, there is definitely a learning curve. These are not plug and play solutions. You need to learn how to communicate effectively with them to get good results. It's not like doing a Google search. Now, I want to talk about addressing the authenticity myth because this drives me crazy. I see it all over social media. This idea that using AI somehow makes you inauthentic as a coach or a consultant. You've probably seen the post. I can instantly tell when something is AI written or real coaches don't use AI. I've seen all kinds of bashing and shame posts on Facebook about using AI. Can we just unpack this for a moment? Because honestly, it's a bit like saying using spell check makes you less of a writer or using calculators makes you less of an accountant. Do you think an accountant doesn't use a calculator? Here's the thing. Authenticity comes from your ideas, your experiences, your unique perspective on helping clients transform their lives. The tools you use to express those ideas, well, they're just that. They're simply tools. You can think about it this way too. If you use Canva to create social media graphics, does that make you less authentic than someone who hand draws everything? Of course not. If you use scheduling software instead of a paper calendar, does that make you less genuine? Of course not. The truth is, people can't actually instantly tell when AI has helped with content. What they can tell is when content lacks personality, heart, and real expertise. And that can happen whether you use AI or not. I've seen plenty of completely human written posts that sound robotic and AI assistant content that's deeply personal and engaging. So it's not about whether you use AI, it's about how you use it. Are you using it to amplify your voice or to replace it? Are you using it to save time on structure so you can focus more on adding your unique insights? Are you using it to brainstorm ideas and that you then develop with your own expertise? Remember, your value as a coach or a consultant isn't in the time that you spend formatting emails or struggling with writer block. It's in your ability to understand, connect, and help your clients transform their lives. Okay, as always, I have the one thing challenge. But before we get to that, I want to share 3 best practices that I've discovered for working with AI tools. First thing is you want to start with a clear framework. Don't just ask for content ideas. Instead, give AI your content pillars, your target audience, your unique your perspective, the tone that you like to use. Do you want this one post to be witty, sassy, professional? It's like briefing a team member. The more context you provide, the better the output will be. When I plan my content calendar, I always make sure to explain my core topics and the transformation that I help clients achieve. Secondly, sorry, I have a drip and I constantly am coughing. Secondly, you want to use AI as your first draft. It's never your final copy, friends. It's your brainstorming partner. So get that first draft or outline from AI and then layer in your personal stories, your personality, your client experiences, and unique insight. Because this approach will help you create content faster while sticking to and keeping your own authentic voice. And then this is a big one. Keep a swipe file of successful prompts. When you find a prompt that works really, really well, like that perfect content calendar request or a great way to outline a blog post, save it. I keep a simple document with my go-to prompts and it saves me a ton of times. I also have a document that says who I am, what my business is, what my personality is, so I can just copy and paste it and not have to retype it every single time. All right, now I want to share 3 big what not to do lessons that I've learned the hard way. Do not use AI generated content without adding your own voice. The fastest way to sound inauthentic is to take that AI generated content and post it verbatim. That's not leveraging AI, that's just outsourcing your voice. Always add your unique perspective and experiences. Second, don't over rely on AI for strategy. Now, while AI can help organize and structure your ideas, it shouldn't be determining your business strategy or your core message. Those need to come from your expertise and understanding of your client's needs. I learned this when I once asked AI to define my content pillars. The result was generic and misspelled or missed the unique value that I bring to my clients. Okay, lastly, you don't want to use AI as a replacement for real connection. I've seen coaches try to use AI to generate personalized messages for every client interaction. But here's the thing, your clients come to you for your insight and presence, not for perfectly crafted responses. Use the AI to handle the routine stuff so that you can be more present for the real human connections. I try not to rely heavily on AI on a regular basis because for me personally, I found that it was so easy to just go to AI that sometimes I forget actually how to write. So balance it out, okay? All right. This week, I want to challenge you to be like Daniel, who resolved not to defile himself, Daniel 1:8, while still operating within a new system. So choose one administrative task that takes up too much of your time. Maybe it's email responses or session preps. Or maybe you need a worksheet or an intake form, whatever it is. Use an AI tool to help with this task, but commit to reviewing it and infusing every output with your God-given wisdom and authentic voice. Document how this frees up time for, deeper client connection and ministry. And heck, if it clears up and frees up so much time, you'll have more downtime and more time to be with your loved ones, right? The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. We've all read Proverbs 21, verse 5 over and over again. This reminds us that being diligent and thoughtful about adopting new tools isn't about adopting new tools in our business isn't just about efficiency. It's kind of like good stewardship, like the faithful servants in the parable of the talents, right? We are called to wisely use the resources and tools available to us to multiply our impact for God's kingdom. So here's what I propose. Do a simple 1-week experiment. Pick one task, like I said earlier, that you do regularly. You can even use it for brainstorming sessions or drafting messages or organizing your thoughts before a client call. Try using one of these AI tools to help with that single task. But don't try to revolutionize your entire business process. I just want you to experiment with one small thing and see what happens. Did it help? Or was it more trouble than it was worth? And then share your experience with me. I would love to hear what you have discovered. Remember, the goal isn't to replace the human elements of coaching and consulting. That personal connection and expertise is irreplaceable. It's about finding smart ways to handle some of the routine stuff so we can focus more on what really, really matters. And that's helping our clients succeed. All right, let me close this up in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for blessing us with both wisdom and tools to serve your people better. Help us to be good stewards of technology while keeping our hearts and ministry authentic to your calling. Give us discernment to know when to embrace new methods and when to rely solely on the gifts that you have given us. Lord, guide us in using these tools not just to build our businesses, but to create more space for genuine connection and transformation in our clients' lives. Help us to remember that while tools may change, your truth remains constant. We pray for wisdom like Solomon and courage like Daniel as we navigate these new frontiers in business ministry. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you found it helpful, share it with somebody. Next week, we will be back. And I think that the pillar for next week is business. We will be talking about high-ticket program creation next week. Okay. Be well, be blessed.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Coach by God Entrepreneur. If this blessed you, please hit the subscribe button and leave me a review. I would be truly blessed if you shared this podcast with another coach. And remember, success in coaching is not just about what you achieve, but who you become in the process. Tune in for more insights and actionable strategies in my upcoming episodes. Stay connected, stay inspired, and let God lead the way to your coaching greatness.